This past, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks has been nothing but a reset for me. And usually I would always come on here and have something to say. I always have a topic to talk about, whether it's Indigenous American research. Lately, I've been talking about astrology, spirituality, um, like really getting my foot in the sand with that. But as of right now, it's like I feel like I'm going through a reset because of all the things that I have been experiencing. And not only that, certain things that I just can't control. And it's not that I'm a control freak or anything, but when you see something like writings on the walls and you see that something bad is going to happen later on down the road and you want to help out as much as you can, but either no one's listening or no one sees what you see, and you're not at that level yet to really contribute on what you can to like save like this certain agenda you have going on. And before you know it, things just start tumbling down. And it's like you done stressed yourself out for not for nothing, but you stressed yourself out over something that you couldn't even save in the first place. And it's like, what's the point? If that's making sense, that's what I'm going through right now. It's like certain things that I just don't have control of. Like, for example, this past New York mayor election, right? First of all, they didn't even ask for ID. So when they didn't even ask for ID, me and my boyfriend kind of looked at each other like, okay, we know how this is going to end. Like, I feel like that election, first of all, was rigged. Somebody cheated. And even though that Mandami guy, whatever, has like a big audience, I feel like there was some cheating going on because there's a lot of New Yorkers out here that didn't even want him to win. And, on top of that, though, you do have people that live here now that is not even from New York. Like, they're from other states and they come here with money and they think they can, like, run things, like, tell New Yorkers what New York is supposed to be like. And then you have a lot of immigrants that just came here not too long ago, been out here for like a couple of years, and it's like it's changing the whole dynamic. And I know that for a fact because I speak to some of these people, and some of them that I know did voted for like this Mandami character or whatever. So with that situation, on top of other things, it's just like, okay, I can only control myself, my emotions, my outcome. And this goes back to certain videos that I talked about, like the Neptune entering Aries and knowing thyself and standing on what you believe, and, don't crumble because somebody else wants you to believe in this religion, or they want you to do things their way, stuff like that. Always stay like 10 toes, blah, blah, blah. Stand 10 toes down on like who you are, what you believe and stuff. So, with that, it's like I can only control myself. And with other things like the whole like Indigenous American topics, I'm still very passionate about that, but it's like certain things I don't know. Every group can be full of bullshit. Um, so within this, Indigenous American community, there's a lot of back and forth, bickering, arguing, and then there's like not that there's no like alignment or anything, but the community can go further if like people work together, but it's a lot of back and forth and who's more this and blah 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 blah. It's just too much. And at one point I wanted to make live streams and talk to certain individuals and ask people questions, but it's just, I feel like it's not going to lead me to anywhere because of the back and forth. And I don't even want to be a part of none of that. So it's like, with all of that going on, I just feel like I'm at a freaking reset because it's like, okay, you know, I don't know. And lately, what has gotten me to this point of stillness is the cemetery that I've been going to. And I've spoken about the cemetery that I've been going to the past few weeks, and I was actually there earlier. And I'm not going to explain too much about the cemetery, but some of my ancestors are buried there. So I went to check the graveyard out, and I actually had bought some roses and was putting it on some tombstones. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because from being at the cemetery the past few times, first of all, it's peaceful as fuck when you go to the cemeteries. It's always usually peaceful. And if you can feel certain things, if you are somebody who just feels things, you walk into a room, you feel the energy shift, you know what I mean. Like when you go into a cemetery, you do feel like a shift. Besides like the whole peacefulness, it's like, for me, I get like a sense of understanding. If that all makes sense. It's like, I don't know. I I can't really explain it because it's not like it's like a teacher there teaching me something, like this wisdom coming through, but it is some type of understanding of, you know, what is the point of stressing yourself out when this is the outcome? Like, we're all going to go eventually. So, what are you getting out of this lifetime by stressing yourself out and worrying about certain things that you can't even like contribute at the moment? Like, it's best to keep doing what you're doing. And if you can contribute, if you can make better changes to help everyone, great. But if not, like, you don't need to stress yourself out over certain things. Which leads me to this, because I feel like this, anybody can relate to this. So when it comes to the whole, what's the point of stressing yourself out when this is going to be the outcome? Like, still strive for things, but you don't need to stress yourself out over things that are just like you just have no control over. And lately, especially with social media and the news and all this other stuff, it's like everybody is constantly arguing. And I think this is part of the devil's plan. Because now I don't know if this is true or not, but I think, as of right now, I think when it comes to the earthly plane, and yes, I'm about to get all woo woo with this. When it comes to the earthly plane, I feel like we all come down here to learn to control ourselves, be in harmony, so we won't have to bring that baggage with us when we return back home. And I'll tell you like a quick story. So over like a year ago, this was like a day after Halloween, and I had a dream. A family member that had passed away visit me in this dream, and it felt like I was actually there. So in this dream, not to tell the whole thing, but in the beginning of this dream, I was actually at the cemetery that I have been going back and forth to for the past couple of weeks. So in my dream, I was at this very cemetery, um, and I was dead. I was dead, and I remember seeing my tombstone, and I was like, wait a minute, am I dead? And I don't know who was there, but I was talking to somebody, like another spirit that was in the facility, and they were like, yeah. And I was just like, wait, but what about this? What about that? I didn't get to finish this. I didn't get to finish that. And I started getting like so much anxiety to where the sky was changing. It was like a storm was coming in. And I remember like a couple of spirits stopped and was just like, oh my God, here she goes. And I was like, wait, is that me doing this? And they was like, yeah. So I had to calm down. And what I realized from that situation is that when we go to the other side, and since we're all like energy, and we would not be in this physical like body, although I did look like myself when I was on the other side in my dream. But anyway, besides the point, on the other side, since we are all energy, and it's not like a physical realm, who knows? I don't know. But whatever you feel, like if you're angry, it's going to affect everybody in the area. Like the sky, all that stuff. Like if you feel angry, the next spirit nearby is going to feel that, and it's just really annoying. So I think one of the reasons of having this physical plane, Earth, is to come down here and control all of that, be in harmony and heal. So by the time you return back home, you won't have to be that one spirit that keeps messing up the whole vibe, basically. So that's what I think. And by everybody arguing back and forth all the time, social media, all this stuff, and the way they want us to live in like cubicles and basically have nothing and be like robots, like with all of this going on, how can we all return back home with all of this baggage that we didn't even like leave at the gate? So I think it's really important to just stop, feel the stillness, and just be in harmony and just like, woosah, woosah, because maybe that is the case. But that's my little bit of wisdom to you, if this is all making sense. That's how I've been feeling lately. Just nothing but a complete reset. Even though there is so much to like show and talk about, it's like my brain is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Just like a complete reset. And if you are somebody that needs to, have a reset yourself, I don't know, maybe go to a cemetery and meditate or something. Nah, you don't gotta do all that. Like, you don't gotta do all that. But for me, that's where I've been getting that, like, understanding and energy from. I don't know, maybe it's like a Scorpio moon type of thing. Like, very morbid. And, like, this is the whole getting wisdom from like the darkest side of the moon, if you're into all this stuff. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. Hopefully my message resonate. If not, it is what it is.